6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Kanuz Ashraf. First, the headlines. Prime Minister and President Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank at a meeting in Davos, Switzerland, have discussed funding for socio-economic uplift of FATA. Abbasi has assured to provide full support and facilitation to Japanese companies to invest in Pakistan. Prime Minister speaking at a session of World Economic Forum in Davos has said CPEC has made Pakistan most visible part of Belt and Road Initiative. National Assembly has adopted a unanimous resolution condemning increased Indian ceasefire violations. China says resolution of Kashmir dispute is crucial for regional peace and security. Pakistan has condemned a drone attack in Kurram Agency carried out by a Resolute Support mission this morning. Pakistan qualified for semi-final of Under-19 Cricket World Cup, beating South Africa by 3 wickets in quarter-final at Christchurch, New Zealand today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi says socio-economic integration and uplift of FATA is a major priority of the government. He was talking to President of Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank Shin Lee-kun at World Economic Forum in Davos today. The Prime Minister emphasized that funding water storage dams in FATA region will help in reintegrating and uplifting the region seamlessly. He also sought AIIB's support for implementation of some of the shovel-ready projects in water conservation, infrastructure and energy sectors. AIIB is a multilateral development bank that provides financing support for infrastructure and regional connectivity. Pakistan has a seat on the Board of Governors, and AIIB has co-financed 2 projects worth $400 million in Pakistan. Talking to CEO of Japan Bank for International Cooperation, Takashi Maeda, at World Economic Forum in Davos, the Prime Minister said the government will provide full support and facilitation to the Japanese companies that are interested to invest in Pakistan. He hoped that JBIC will support Japanese companies in their investments in Pakistan, particularly in the energy sector. He said Pakistan and Japan enjoy a very long and cherished history of economic cooperation that is of immense importance to Pakistan. Shahid Khaqan Abbasi said the last few years Pakistan has made tremendous achievements towards political stability, law and order, energy, security and economic growth. CEO JBIC appreciated the economic stability achieved by Pakistan and expressed interest for investments in energy and telecom sectors. Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi says China's Belt and Road Initiative will link a series of countries, regions and civilizations to create shared prosperity. He was speaking in Belt and Road Impact session of the World Economic Forum in Davos today. The Prime Minister said Belt and Road Initiative is physical manifestation of the bonds among countries that existed through history. He said,
the BRI is indeed about creating a future amongst the participant countries. Pakistan is today perhaps the most visible part of the BRI, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. But when we talk in terms of infrastructure, it is much more than that. The BRI is a connection between a series of countries.
Shahid Khaqan Abbasi said the project will result in free movement of people and greater cultural openness between the countries. He said we strongly recognize the vision and initiative of China and President Xi Jinping. Permanent Chairman of European Union Military Committee General Mikhail Kotrakos called on Minister for Defence Khurram Dastagir in Brussels today. They agreed to strengthen bilateral relations in the field of defence. National Assembly today unanimously passed a resolution reaffirming support for the just and legitimate struggle of Kashmiri people in occupied Kashmir for right to self-determination as per the UN Security Council resolutions. The resolution moved by Minister for Kashmir Affairs Barjees Tahir strongly denounced the black laws enacted in the valley. It said presence of 800,000 Indian troops in occupied Kashmir have martyred 100,000 innocent Kashmiri people, including freedom fighter Burhan Wani. It noted with concerns the detention of hundreds of Hurriyat leaders and workers and registration of fake cases against them. The resolution also condemned increased ceasefire violations by the Indian troops on the line of control and the working boundary. It said Pakistan will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with its Kashmiri brethren and extend moral and diplomatic support to them. China says it will continue supporting Pakistan on Kashmir dispute as resolution of the issue is crucial for regional peace and security. This was stated by Chinese ambassador to Pakistan Yao Jing while talking to Minister for Kashmir Affairs and Gilgit-Baltistan Mohammad Barjees Tahir in Islamabad today. The minister expressed his gratitude over long-standing support of China to Pakistan on Kashmir issue. He said the Indian forces have been inflicting the worst kind of brutalities against innocent people of the Indian-occupied Kashmir for last 7 decades. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has condemned a drone strike in Kurram agency carried out by the Resolute Support Mission this morning, which targeted an Afghan refugee camp. Foreign Office spokesperson in a statement said such unilateral actions are detrimental to the spirit of cooperation between the two countries in the fight against terrorism. He said Pakistan has continued to emphasize to the United States the importance of sharing actionable intelligence so that appropriate action is taken against terrorists by our forces within our territory. The spokesperson said Pakistan has also been stressing the need for early repatriation of Afghan refugees as their presence in Pakistan helps Afghan terrorists to melt among them. Kashmiris on both sides of the line of control and across the world will observe the Indian Republic Day on Friday as Black Day to remind the world community that India continues to deny the people of Kashmir their inalienable right to self-determination. Call for observance of the day has been given by the Joint Resistance Leadership comprising Sayyid Ali Gilani, Mirwais Umar Farooq and Muhammad Yasin Malik. In a joint statement in Srinagar today, they said India has no right to celebrate its Republic Day as it is occupying Jammu and Kashmir with its military might. The day will be marked with a complete strike in occupied Kashmir and anti-India demonstrations and rallies in world capitals. The United Nations has called on Myanmar to give aid agencies unhindered access to the camps it has built for the returning Rohingya refugees before their repatriation. In a statement, UNICEF Deputy Executive Director Justin Forsyth said talk of repatriation is premature until the safety and well-being of children returning to Myanmar is guaranteed. Russia has accused the United States of trying to complicate the international efforts to probe the use of chemical weapons in Syria, rejecting U.S. accusations that Russia is responsible for the chemical weapons attacks in Syria. Russian President Vladimir Putin's spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, said U.S. officials are jumping to conclusions without any grounds whatsoever. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says his country will thwart games along its borders, starting with Syria's Mabnij region. Speaking to local administrators in Ankara today, he called on international NGOs to support Turkey's operation against the Kurdish militant group YPG. In Afghanistan, at least 2 people were killed and 14 others injured in a militant attack on the office of a foreign aid agency in Jalalabad city today. Cricket. Pakistan qualified for the semi-final of the Under-19 Cricket World Cup, beating South Africa by 3 wickets in the quarter-final at Christchurch, New Zealand today. Batting first, South Africa scored 189 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. In reply, Pakistan achieved the target in the 48th over for the loss of 7 wickets. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, very cold weather conditions are likely to prevail in northern areas, Malakand and Quetta divisions. Fog is likely to prevail at a few plain areas of Punjab during morning hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analysis, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and watch live video streaming on the link facebook.com Radio Pakistan News Official.